Evan Drellick from The Athletic putting an article out about the ABS system, aka robot umps, and that MLB is definitely going to test that out in spring training coming up in 2025. Not in every ballpark, but it sounds like they'll be set up in enough ballparks to be able to really do some damage here. At 13 ballparks hosting 19 teams, which could lead to regular season use. Not in 2025, but in 2026. The league is expecting to give teams 2 challenges per game in spring training. They got that number down to 2 at the end of this past season in the minor leagues. It was 3. They felt like that was stopping things a lot. And also, you keep your challenge if you're correct. So it just puts more of the pressure on to get it right and keep the challenge alive. Like I could see a situation, it's fifth inning, you feel like you got worked, but you already burned one challenge and it's a little bit close. And you're like, yo, I got to save this because if I get absolutely screwed in the ninth inning later on, and this is a big game against a division rival, I can't afford to use this up now and not have any left. So anyway, there's that. And then lastly, at the bottom of the article, but I think this is important too, Commissioner Manfred said they have to collectively bargain a new contract with the umpires. That contract expired after this season. And of course, the Robo Umps situation is part of that. Manfred said, quote, we're going to have to work through that issue as well. So what do we like? What do we not like? Besides me banging the drum for a while now saying that I think they should test this in spring training. And then if it works, do the challenge system in 2025. I do not want to wait a whole nother year of absolute atrocious calls that we cannot overturn. The close ones, they're close. But the really bad ones, I really want to be able to switch that now, Cam. I feel like we're at a point where the technology is ready. The world is ready for the challenge system.
Well, not only is the technology ready, but I think we're at a point where I think the normal fan, I think even ex players, I think what we are tired of seeing is the back and forth between player and umpire, right? The ego coming into play during the game. I think with that, with the challenge, the challenge coming into play, I think it immediately cleans up the bickering back and forth, right? Now we have a system where we can just challenge it. I don't have to argue with you. Same as on the bases, whether it's like a stolen base attempt and it's out of safe call. Guys aren't arguing anymore. They just, hey, giving the little signal, go to the headphones, let's check it. And I've been an advocate for it too, because I still do feel like the game that I fell in love with as a kid, I think it needs the human element. But I think instead of the robo zones, I think if you add the challenge element, it still allows us to have that human element, that human aspect that I think the game needs. But I think it might also too incentivize these guys to lock it in a little bit more. I think right now, if you ask me, a third of the umpires do a really good job. Not saying they all don't care, but I think if you put that type of pressure to incentivize that, hey, we're going to have a challenge system. I think these guys are going to lock in. I think they will get better.
For sure. I think they will. I think some want to. I think some could care less. So I think it's a checks and balances because they're all human. They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to get a call wrong on the bases, even though I know an umpire was quoted as saying, oh, great, I'm glad that we have replay. Now there's no pressure on me to actually get the call right. So maybe it takes some of the pressure off of guys too. But this whole system, this whole like collective bargaining part of the ABS system, this was in the last CBA. This was in the last collective bargaining agreement. It was a big standing point for Major League Baseball that maybe we will get the robo umpires, when I say robo, the challenge system, in during this CBA. Credit to Major League Baseball. They did not push this system because it is not perfect yet. They have not pushed it. They wanted it in this CBA, and the entire duration of the CBA went through, and it still hasn't. So now it has to get pushed into the next one. Major League umpires want their salaries to be consistent with how players' salaries have gone up, and they got that a little bit. That'll be the biggest standing point is they want their salaries to continue to increase as any union does. But I think the biggest thing is going to be that midway point. That's going to be the point of contention because if you see the system now, that midway point where they start the strike zone is in the middle of the plate, 8.5 inches, very center of the plate. I think that when they start having big league pitchers throwing big league pitches is going to actually have to get moved back, but that's just me going too far into the weeds with it.
I know what you're
Hey, before
saying,
you
though.
get
They're going to find the video game glitch, Cam. They're going
Yeah,
to
I was
find
gonna
it.
ask Kratzy. Before you go too deep in the weeds, I'm also curious too with the technology. Is it a situation where, you know, we actually know the guy who's coming up to the dish? Is he 6'4" or is he 5'11"? You know, is it Judge or is it Altuve? You know what I mean? Is that system changing to each individual guy, like you said, to make it as perfect or as accurate as it possible can be? So you're absolutely
I
right,
won't,
Kratzy.
and I won't say the team when this stuff started first coming out, because I don't want anybody to be blasting that team for trying to cheat. It's just teams. Every team's doing it because Major League Baseball came through and they did a digital height check on everybody, and they were going to put that into the system of how they're doing the ABS. So,
Exactly.
guys, team officials, people who are in charge of this team said, make sure you're not standing fully
Yeah.
upright when you're doing this. I did it. I saw it. So they have to make sure they know that teams are doing this, because Jose Altuve does not have the same zone as Aaron Judge does. Obviously, we're talking two ends of the extreme, but they're both measured. What happens if one of them's a little bit
Boom.
spottier? I'm just saying. So there is things people are already trying workarounds.
This is too good. Cam, this is like when you go to the doctor's office, you're getting your annual checkup, or you're getting your physical, and you're like real puffing up, like, oh
Put my
yeah, I
neck
gotta
out,
get
put my
myself an
neck out
extra
a little
quarter
bit.
of an inch. And then this time it's like, oh, let's measure this big hulking DH, and you're like, kind of
Yeah,
leaning
I
back a
thought he
little
exactly.
was
bit, like,
bigger.
oh, are you, sir? Can you please stand up straight? No, this is me. I have a posture issue. So,
Yeah,
sir.
I got the 100 pence hump. The 100 pence.
yeah,
That one here. The
exactly.
100 pence. Yep.
Oh, I guarantee you, if I get measured, I can get an inch of variance if I do this, because I got the broad shoulder action, or if I go like this, I can at least get
Absolutely.
myself an inch more of the plate. So this is fascinating. This is a big report. This is a scathing investigative report from Eric Kratz. But I do think they're going to have to be careful. It's something you really don't think about. It's the game inside the game from foul territory. How tall are you really?
Hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.